I'm a Muslim, and you know, I don't talk about everything in the Quran.
No problem, my friend. I'm
So
here trying to help you. You see, I
so
know you do not know
I need
much.
teacher also
My friend,
to
your
talk with
teacher,
me about
okay,
this.
your teacher is an idiot. He know nothing. They call themselves teacher in the Philippines, in Indonesia, to make money out of you. You pay salary, they live in their house for wives, and boom boom. But he know nothing about Islam. And this is what I'm saying to you. I want you to ask all the teacher you know in Indonesia. Says there is a guy, his name is a Christian Prince, who want to call him and refute him, and you will see that all the teachers you have, they will disappear like rabbit. There are teachers in the front of those who do not know. You don't speak Arabic, you do not know anything about Islam. They are teachers. In the front of me, they will become rabbits. So ask them, okay, why we don't see one of you calling this guy, call him and prove him wrong. Look, he's saying things I do not know what to say to them. You know what I mean? If they are teachers, okay, it's time to teach. This is when we need them. If they are not going to answer, who is going to answer?
I'm staying in Islam. You know why I'm staying in Islam?
Why?
Because I do not believe that Jesus is God.
Okay, forget about Jesus God or not. I mean, if Islam is stupid, you stay in Islam, is just because Islam doesn't say Jesus God? That's the reason? That would be funny. Let us say,
yeah, and
okay, hold on. Okay, no, actually, okay, hold on. Let me show you. Islam says Jesus is not God, correct? For what reason?
Yes.
For what reason?
Because it's impossible. He's just a human, and why do we need to worship
isn't it Allah?
It doesn't make sense.
Okay, it does make sense that Allah have a shin. It does make sense that Allah have 5 fingers. It does make sense that Allah have 2 hands and both of them are in the right side. It does make sense that Allah have an ass. It does make sense that Allah have 2 eyes. It does make sense that Allah look like Jesus.
In Islam,
let me ask you, do Allah, my friend, do Allah look like Jesus?
Of course,
of course what? Yes or no? Do Allah look like Jesus? You said to me, he's a human, so he cannot be God. But Muhammad says Allah look like Jesus, and he was speaking about the false Jesus, the Dajjal. Allah look exactly like him. The only difference between them is the right eye. Read the hadith in front of you on the screen. So you refuse Jesus to be God because he's a man, as you said, but Allah himself is a man. Read it. Muhammad is even worried that you will be confused. You will think that the false Messiah is Allah. So he's warning you the way to recognize between one and the other. Allah is not damaged in the right eye. That guy, the false Messiah, the Dajjal, he have a problem with the eyes in his right eye. So what is the difference between them? Only one eye. So how you say to me, I refuse Jesus to be God, he is just a man, when Allah himself is a man?
Where is in this verse that showing that Allah is a man?
It says in front of you. Muhammad is saying, did you read it, my friend? Read it. Go ahead, I'm listening.
I've told you so much about the Dajjal and the Christ that I am afraid you may not understand. The Antichrist is short, hand-toed, woolly haired, one-eyed, and an eye sightless, and neither protruding nor deep-seated. If you are confused about him, know that your Lord is not one-eyed.
Okay, so what's the difference between the Dajjal, who is a man? The Dajjal is a man. He will come, he will say, he will claim that he is the Messiah. This is what they call him, Al-Masih al-Dajjal, correct? Al-Masih al-Dajjal is the false Messiah. He say, I am the Messiah. He's a man. He's short. He have a big ass. He have a curly hair, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then Muhammad is saying, if you are confused about him, know that your Lord is not one eye. About him and who? Allah and the Dajjal. So Muhammad is saying to you, if you will think for a second that the Dajjal is Allah, you better recognize that your Allah is not one eye, the Dajjal is one eye. So the only difference between them is the one eye. Your God, Allah, is a man.
What I get from this verse is that our Lord doesn't have one eye.
My friend,
That's what
no.
I get.
Okay, so why he comparing to you the man is short, hinted, all the hair, one-eyed, eyesightless, all this description, and yet he is confused that you might think he is Allah. If Allah does not look like a man anyway, why you will be think that he is Allah? If Allah is not a man, correct?
You know, here in this verse, it is describing the Antichrist. He's short.
Correct.
Until,
the Antichrist is man, right? The Antichrist is a man. Is that correct? He's a man. This is actually there's nothing is called Antichrist. This is a false translation. That the Muslim believe in the Dajjal, al-Masih al-Dajjal, the false Messiah. It's not Antichrist. So he is a false Messiah. So here's what he is. He is a man who claimed to be the Messiah. That's why they call him al-Masih al-Dajjal. Dajjal in Arabic means the liar. Okay. The Messiah, the Dajjal, the Messiah, the liar, which means the false Messiah. And Muhammad yet he is worried that you will be confused between him and Allah. If Allah is not a man anyway, why you will be confused between them?
You know, it is like in the day of in the land of Egypt a long time ago. Pharaoh was
my friend. What Pharaoh have to do this? Listen. If I am saying to you, I'm afraid that you will be confused between Allah and this man. Where the confusion will come from? The word in front of you, their look, correct? So what the difference between Allah and this man? The right eye. So if Allah is not a man, then we should not be confused about him anyway. Just by seeing him as a man, that means he's not Allah, obviously, correct? But your prophet did not say that. Your prophet, you should know that Allah is not one eye. That guy is one eye, which means the rest is perfect. The rest is the same. The only difference between them is the right eye.
You know, in your Bible, in the book of Revelation, it shows that there are beasts also with so many head and such like that.
My friend, this is not about literally. This is the book that the Bible is not about literal word like we say. It's not a beast and really. This is about prophecy, about things will happen, sign will happen. And you are trying to change the topic. We are talking about here the look of Allah. I asked you why Jesus is not God. You said because he's a man. Okay, Allah is a man, as you see. The difference between Allah and the false Messiah.
What you understand?
What the difference between Allah?
Understand from this?
No, I understand. I understand. Okay, you are the one who teach me what to understand. Tell me what to understand from this. What is the difference between this man, the Antichrist, as you call him, and Allah?
You put red underline here, right? And from the Antichrist and then until this North Gypsy, this is the explanation about the Antichrist, and then in the last sentence of this verse, it's showing us that the Lord is not one eye.
Okay, but why he is comparing between the Lord and the man? Because he's afraid that if you are confused about him, do you see the word confused? Does it say confused?
Yeah,
if you are confused,
if you are confused about him,
about him who
your Lord is not one eye.
All right, confused about what?
You know, about the eye of the Lord.
No. He added at the end the eye. He says you should know that the eye of Allah is not one eye. So the confusion will happen from what? Because he is afraid that you might think that Allah and the Antichrist is one. He is telling you how to recognize Allah from the Antichrist, correct? How to recognize Allah and how to recognize the Antichrist. The only difference between both is one eye. Do you see anything else? Did he say Allah is not a man? No. Did he say Allah is not short? No. He did not say. The only difference is one eye.
Let me tell you what I understand from this, okay? I think you will not agree with me, but I will just tell you what's on my mind.
Okay.
For me, okay, in this verse, telling me that this is the Antichrist, you know, from this first sentence until the point, and then in the second sentence, if you are confused about him, know that your Lord is not one eye.
Okay.
So this is
okay. How many eyes your God Allah
this
have?
is
Okay,
for me
how many eyes
I'm
Allah
not
have? No
going
problem,
to
no problem.
worship
Okay,
God
okay.
with
So
one
we
eye.
learned that Allah is not one-eyed. How many eyes He have?
It is not mentioned in this verse.
Okay, but Allah have eyes,
so
right?
we do not know.
But Allah have eyes.
This verse doesn't say that. So
it says that. It says your Lord is not one-eyed.
Yeah, it's not one-eyed.
Okay, that's mean He have more than one eye.
It says that.
That's mean He have more than one eye. How many eyes He have?
I think we should not say or testify
no
something
problem, no
that
problem.
we do not know.
You can go around this. What about Allah? He's having a shin. Allah, He have a fingers. Allah have a foot. Do Allah
Show me the verse.
Do Allah have a foot?
Show me the verse. Because I have already read the Quran, and I don't remember all of them.
Okay, read
probably
this one. Okay.
you know more than me.
The Prophet said the people will be thrown into the hellfire, and it will say, "Are there any more?" This is the hellfire talking, and then Allah will put His foot over it. Do you see it?
Till Allah puts His foot over it.
Okay.
Allah, yeah, so Allah has foot.
Okay, Allah has foot. Okay, what about Allah has hands? How many hands Allah have?
Probably you know more than me.
Okay, but how many? Guess how many hands Allah have? 2, 3, 4. What do you think? How many human have? How many hands Allah human have? 2 hands, right?
I have no idea about it.
Human. How many humans? How many the human being? How many hands you have? How many hands you have?
I have 2 hands.
Okay, Allah have 2 hands too. But they are funny. Allah, He have 2 hands in the right side, in His right shoulder. Do you see it?
And both of His hands are right hands.
So now what we learn, Allah, He have eyes, Allah have hands, Allah have a foot. What else? Allah have a shin. Right? Okay. Why Allah? When we say shin, do you know what shin mean?
Shin.
Yeah. What the shin? What the shin is? Do you know what the shin in English? What the shin is?
Probably you can explain me just to make it faster.
Shin is like it's the part of the leg. Let us see if we can find an image so we can show it to you. What is the shin? Okay, you see, this is the shin. This is the shin. I will show it to you on the screen. You see it? This is the shin. Do you see now? So Allah, now we prove Allah have a foot, and then Allah have a shin. So what do you say? Why Allah have a shin? You said to me you don't believe in Jesus, that He's God, because He have a shin, He have a foot. He's a human, right? He have a shin, He have a foot. Allah have 5 fingers. Allah have 2 hands. Allah have 2 eyes. Allah have, so what is Allah? So you Muslim, you refuse Allah. Okay, do Allah come to you? If Allah come to you today, do you believe in Allah because of His shape?
I believe in Allah.
No. Do you believe in Him because of His shape, or because He is Allah, no matter what His shape is?
This is something that I never experienced,
No, I'm asking now. Okay, one day you will be in the judgment day and you will see Allah. All right? Okay, then how you recognize Allah? How you will know that this is Allah? If Allah come to you in the shape of Jesus Christ, are you going to reject Him?
I have no idea about it.
Okay, if Allah come to you in the shape of a man, are you going to refuse Him?
It's described that Allah has foot and hands.
Okay, read with me carefully. Allah will come to you in the day of judgment, And Allah, He will come to you in a shape. Read with me. Then the Almighty will come to them in a shape other than the one which they saw first time. Do you Muslims saw Allah first time?
No, we never.
Okay, so Muhammad is lying here, and then he will say, I am your Lord. And they will say, you are not our Lord. Okay, why the Muslim they reject Allah? Because He changed His shape, correct? Don't you think this is stupid? So Allah, now you have more than one Allah. You have the original shape of Allah, and you have a new shape of Allah. Allah changed shape. So Allah now He come to you in a shape you don't like. You throw rocks at Him and you say you are not Allah. Not only that, He says seek refuge from Allah by you, and then none will speak to Him like get lost, get away, you are not our God. But the Prophet and then will be said to them, do you know the sign which you will recognize Him? How you recognize Allah? Do you see what it says? They say the shin, and then Allah will uncover His shin. Do you see it?
Yeah. Do you know any sign by which you can recognize Him?
Okay. Do you really
they will
believe?
say the sin.
Do you really believe?
And so Allah will then uncover His sin.
Okay. So now do you believe in this? That Allah will show His shin? And you Muslim will recognize Him by His shin? So all what your God is for you is a shin? Because you recognize Him only by the shin. So Allah will show you His shin. Have fun. Here we go. This is the shin of Allah. And then when you see it, you say this is Allah for sure, because His shin is so sexy and you know it. What kind of religion this religion is? So you are basing your religion. You said you don't believe in Jesus because He's a man. Allah have 5 fingers in every hand. You have 2 hands. You have a foot. You have 2 eyes. You have an ass. You have a face. You have a back, and you have a shin. And you recognize Allah by His shin.
So if it is written like this, so is this a problem for you?
Well, it's a problem for you because you are the one who said to me, Jesus cannot be God because He's a man. But as you see, Allah is a man. He have a shin. Okay, what the shin for? Shin is,
you know,
when we say Allah have a foot. Let me ask you.
That He wants to have. Right?
Hold on. When I say to you, you have a foot. What does that mean? I have a foot. What we do with the foot?
For walking.
Okay, so Allah have a foot to do what with it? For walking. Correct?
It will make more sense if the foot for walking. So let us.
So Allah have a foot, have a shin. Let us complete the picture. Allah have a foot. Allah have a shin. Okay. And what else?
Hand.
Okay. Have a face.
Not 1 eye.
Have a face. He have 2 eyes. And
no. It is only written that not 1 eye.
So you think Allah don't have? He'd have maybe 40 eye.
Let's just say probably 2. So it's not 1, right? Probably 2, maybe, because it's not written in the Quran.
What do you mean it's not written in the Quran?
Because it's only written that Allah only has 1 eye, right?
So
okay.
it's written Allah don't have. Okay, so according to you, Allah does not have.
So the point here, you're showing me that Allah has foot, and then Allah has sin, and then Allah has hands, and probably He has eye.
How many?
Because
properly,
you know, Allah.
What do you mean properly? What do you mean properly?
Probably have 2 eye.
So you Muslims are not sure.
We are not sure about it.
But when your prophet he says your God Allah is not 1 eye, and he's talking about 2 eyes. Obviously, you have 2 eyes, and one of them is not damaged because the other guy you have 2 eyes, but one of them is not working. So Allah have 2 eyes. It's confirmed in that story. So now look what we heard. We have Allah have a foot, have a shin, He have hands, He have 5 fingers, He have a face, He have 2 eyes. What is that will make Him? Zaraf or a human being? and your prophet compared between him and a human being, and he was afraid that you Muslims will be confused between him and a human being. So how you say to me Allah is not a human being? What about how Allah he created Adam? Did Allah create Adam in his image?
You know, some Christian friends told me that human is created according to the image of God.
But isn't it Muhammad? He says the same. Read it.
It is not written like that.
Read it. Allah created Adam in his picture. Do you see it? In his image specifically. Allah created Adam in his image. See the hadith?
I read that. Yeah. Allah created Adam in his picture.
This is why you should avoid beating him in his face.
So let's just make a conclusion that probably if Allah made us according to his picture, probably the shape that you mentioned before, the shape of Allah probably is just the same like us.
Okay.
Maybe, but
okay. So so now you know, for me, I don't really care. But Allah is a physical being in Islam. You know that, right?
It is written that way, but
okay, is he a physical being? I want a clear answer. Is he a physical being?
You don't see Allah.
Is he a physical being? When we say he have hands, he have a foot, he have a shin, he is a physical being, correct? Do we agree?
It is written in the Quran that Allah created Adam according to the image of God.
This is not the question now. I'm asking you. Do you agree that Allah is a physical being?
Do you agree that Allah is physical being? I think because it's written this way, so I agree that Allah has physical being.
Okay, thank you. So now, guys, we have Allah as a physical being. What about Allah? Do he have a spirit?
Spirit. Did you ever see in the Quran about the Spirit of God?
Okay, this I'm asking you as a Muslim. You as a Muslim. I'm the Christian. My God is a spirit in the same time. So I believe that God is a spirit. Is your God Allah is a spirit? The answer is no. If you are a Muslim and you believe Allah, hold on.
That I never see before.
No. All Muslims come from. You can search right now. In Islam, Muslims believe Allah has no spirit and he is not a spirit. So what we agree now, Allah is a physical being, but he is not a spirit. That means he's a statue, because the spirit is a power of life. If you don't have a spirit, so what Allah is? Flesh, concrete. So look what you believe. You refuse Jesus, who is alive, and even the Quran confirms he is the word of God, which means he is eternal, because the word of God is not created, and that's what the Muslims believe. You believe he is spirit from God. You believe he came from above, he came from heaven, bestowed on Mary. You believe now Jesus is alive, and yet you don't want to believe in Jesus to be God, but yet you believe in a person, his name is Allah, who have hands and feet and shin. He have a face and eyes. He's a physical being, but yet he don't have a spirit. That means he's dead. So what you believe in? An idol. You Muslims worship idols. How he is a physical being? What the difference between an idol and a living person, whoever he is? The first one is made from material. The second man made from material. But one have a spirit, he is alive, and the other one has no spirit. He is just a physical being.
So let's just make the conclusion that probably he has a spirit. So in order to have
no,
life,
not properly. No, the Muslims believe. I can show you the fatwa. Actually, if a Muslim he believe that Allah has a spirit, he is no Muslim no more. Be careful. No, we can't say properly. This is not the case. Allah is a physical being. He has no spirit. So what Allah is? Allah is this. What do you say?
I see a picture of
Yeah.
Statue.
Yeah, it says Allah is a status. Because we agree that Allah is a physical being.